Next topic, we are going to talk about Meg the Stallion. So today in the blogs, there was a report that Meg the Stallion is being sued by her cameraman. So after news spread that her cameraman was suing her, then she started to trend on Twitter. And because she was trending on Twitter, then Tory Lane started trending on Twitter because people started to say, like, oh, Tory Lane, she put him in jail, blah, blah, blah. Now she got her legal problems, like that. So, Megan Cunith has posted the documents of the lawsuit, and we are going to go over the documents of the lawsuit today. So I'm going to go over the documents. We're going to read them. We're going to see what he is accusing her of, and we're going to go from there. But before I do that, I am going to pull up the article when it was breaking on the Shade Room and just show that to y'all, and then we are going to go into the actual documents. So this is what the Shade Room posted right here, and it says, Meg the Stallion's former photographer accuses her of harassment in new lawsuit. He alleges he was body shamed and witnessed Megan being intimate while they rode in an SUV together. So it says photographer Emilio Garcia filed a harassment lawsuit on Tuesday alleging he experienced severe and pervasive harassment while he worked for Megan from 2019 to 2023, according to NBC News. The lawsuit recalls an incident in which Garcia was traveling with Megan on a trip to Spain in 2022, and he alleges that while they were riding in an SUV, at the end of the night, Megan began having intercourse with a woman right beside him. He said he felt uncomfortable, he was kind of frozen, and he was shocked at that kind of just overall audacity to do this right beside me. Garcia told NBC News the lawsuit alleges the day after the SUV incident, Megan told Garcia, don't ever discuss what you saw. He alleges that she made shameful remarks, blase, blase. And she called him, you know, a fat bee and telling him to spit out his food and all of this stuff like that. Okay, so that's just kind of part of what they have listed on the Shade Room. Let me pull down my green screen. So this is the complaint. So he is suing Rock Nation LLC, Hot Girl Touring LLC, Megan the Stallion Entertainment Inc., Megan the Stallion the individual, and he wants to sue all of these defendants for a hostile work environment, harassment, failure to prevent and remedy violation of labor code, violation of the this other labor code, violation of that labor code, violation of this labor code, and violation and retaliation of the labor code, blah, 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 blah. So he is demanding for a jury trial, and I have not read through this lawsuit. I'm reading it. I'm going to read through it for the first time with you guys together, and we are going to get all of the details and get all of the goings-ons that's goings-ons. So as you can see right there, he is demanding for a jury trial, and it says the plaintiff, Emilio Garcia, who hereinafter shall be referred to as the plaintiff or as Garcia, who hereby respectfully alleges, avers, and complains as follows. So it says, this is an action brought by the plaintiff Garcia pursuant to California statutory decisional and regulatory laws. The plaintiff was an employee of the defendant, Megan Thee Stallion Entertainment, Inc., hereinafter will be referred to as Stallion Entertainment. The defendant, Hot Girl Touring LLC. The defendant, Rock Nation LLC. And defendant, Megan Thee Stallion, whose real name is Megan Pete. Okay. these are all the people that he has summed up to be their employer. It says the plaintiff alleges that the California statutory, decisional, and regulatory laws prohibit the conduct by defendants herein alleged, and therefore the plaintiff has an entitlement to monetary relief on the basis that the defendant violated such statutes, decisional law, and regulations. It says jurisdiction and venue. So they are proving that the proper venue is California. It says jurisdiction is proper in this court by virtue of the California statutes, decisional law, and regulations, and local rules under the Los Angeles County Superior Court rules. Venue in this court is proper in that the defendant, Megan Thee Stallion, Rock Nation LLC, and HGT all have a principal business address located in the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles, and the state of California, as well as a majority of the wrongful conduct alleged herein occurred within the county of Los Angeles. So right there, they were just basically establishing like what court is proper for the lawsuit. Okay. So in the lawsuit, it says that at all times herein mentioned, the plaintiff Garcia is and has been a resident of California. The defendant, Rock Nation LLC, is and at all times herein mentioned has been a Delaware business organization with the capacity to sue and to be sued, and doing business with a principal place of business located in Los Angeles. The defendant, Hot Girl Touring LLC, HGT, is and all times herein mentioned has been a Delaware business organization with the capacity to sue and be sued, and doing business in Los Angeles with a principal place of business located in Florida. It says the defendant, Megan Thee Stallion Entertainment, Inc., is and at all times herein mentioned has been a Delaware business organization. What's up with them having businesses in Delaware and they don't live in Delaware? What's the laws there? Do I need to open up my businesses in Delaware? I forget. I think somebody said something about people opening businesses in Delaware. It's something with that state. Like, I'm going to have to do my research, but I remember something being said about like the reason why people open up businesses in Delaware. I'll get back to it. I think if it's tax purposes, it's something going on. But anyway, it says it's been a Delaware business organization with the capacity to sue and be sued, and doing business in Los Angeles with a principal place of business in Miami. So the defendant, Megan Thee Stallion, and is mentioned here, has been an individual within the capacity to sue and be sued in the city of Los Angeles. Blase, blase, da, da, da. So let's get down to the actual allegations because, child, nobody got time for all that. So anyway, let's get down to the allegations. It's cheaper. Yeah, it's something about Delaware because this is not the first time I heard about like people opening businesses in Delaware, but I remember somebody doing like a whole like breakdown on like why people open up businesses in Delaware, but I'm just not, you know, it's not coming to me right away. But yeah, anyway, let's go here. So, okay, so this is the allegations. Okay, let's get down to it. So it says on or around June 2022, the plaintiff was traveling on tour with Stallion in Ibiza, Spain. After a night out, the plaintiff, Stallion, and 3 other women were riding in an SUV together. Suddenly, Stallion, why he just didn't call her Megan or Miss Pete? Anyway, suddenly Stallion and one of the other women started having hanky-panky right beside the plaintiff. The plaintiff could not get out of the car as it was both moving and he was in the middle of nowhere in a foreign country. The plaintiff was embarrassed, mortified, and offended throughout the whole ordeal. The following day, Stallion inquired whether the plaintiff was in the SUV the previous night. The plaintiff confirmed that he was in the SUV. Subsequently, the Stallion instructed, "Don't ever discuss what you saw." So that sounds like she was extremely intoxicated to the point that she didn't even know who was there or not there because she was that damn blacked out. And she came to her senses and was like, "Ooh, child, you know, I got a little wild. Don't say nothing about that." All right. So it says Stallion berated and directed her fat shaming comments toward the plaintiff, such as "fat B," "spit your food out," and "you don't need to be eating." After confiding in the makeup artist, the Stallion learned of the plaintiff's contemplation of quitting due to the Stallion's possessiveness combined with the lack of appropriate pay for the amount of time asked of him. As discussed fully below, later that night, Stallion drunkenly FaceTimed the plaintiff, and after the plaintiff expressed his belief he was being underpaid for the amount of hours actually asked of him, they reached an understanding, with the Stallion affirming, "We're good." Despite the conversation, the plaintiff remained scheduled for Stallion's upcoming gig the following Friday. Nevertheless, on or around June 2023, Roc Nation unexpectedly reached out to the plaintiff the night before the scheduled Friday gig and informed him that his services would no longer be required by the Stallion. The plaintiff has timely filed a complaint of discrimination within the California Civil Rights Department and obtained a right to sue letter on April 12, 2024. As such, the plaintiff has exhausted his administrative remedies to pursue claims under the Fair Employment and Housing Act. So, this whole situation happening at Ibiza, Spain, Gossip of the City had basically pulled up the same time that Meg Thee Stallion was in Ibiza, Spain. So I'm not, sometimes Gossip of the City, the TB10, sometimes, what is the God City? Oh, here we go. Sometimes the T be up and up. Sometimes it be spot on. Sometimes it be, no. So anyway, she pulled up the time that she was possibly in Ibiza. So this is what she posted on her Twitter. She said, "The new lawsuit against Meg is wild because she was with her man and a few females at the time of that trip. If it's true, one of the women is in these images seen below." So she says, "I have a good feeling on which one it is." And then she posted up these videos of them, I guess, in Ibiza, Spain. So these are the pictures here that she is saying happened at the same time that the guy is alleging that the stuff happened. So as you can see, they getting drunk, they turning up. It's a few females and everything. They got this guy making sure he get their angles. And this is Partisan here as well. So he's also a part of the party. And then she showed these pictures right here where it shows Partisan. Some more of the ladies, Meg Thee Stallion, and some of the ladies, boom, 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 like that. So she is alleging that she thinks that whoever is in the lawsuit is probably one of these girls. She didn't say who she thought, and I don't know who it is. I don't know when these pictures happened, but according to her, she's saying that this was around the same time that he made the lawsuit. Now, I can't confirm or deny. I don't know. I'm just sharing y'all all the tea. Okay? I'm just sharing with y'all all of the tea that's on the internet. So anyway, let's go back to the lawsuit. So, boom. So let's go back down here. Where was we at? Okay, so she FaceTimed him, blah, blah. Okay, so wage and hour violation. So it says, from the inception of his employment, the plaintiff Garcia was misclassified as an independent contractor while working as a personal cameraman to the defendant, and he has been treated as an independent contractor by Roc Nation, and so he was effectively denied any of the protections an employee would have under California law. In April 2018, the California Supreme Court in the now infamous Dynamex decision ruled that companies must successfully meet the three-pronged ABC test in order to lawfully classify someone as an independent contractor for purposes of wage order claims. It says Garcia versus blah, blah. They cited a case. It says the ABC test requires an employer to prove the following to justify independent contractor classification. The worker is free from the control and direction of hiring entity and the performance of the work, both under the contract for the performance of the work and in fact the worker performs work that is outside the usual course of the hiring entity's business. The worker is customarily engaged in independently established trade, occupation, or business of the same nature that is performed for the hiring entity. So it says on September 18, 2019, Governor Gavin Newsom signed the bill that commonly referred to as the gig worker law, blah, blah, blah. The employer, unless the test is met and explicitly exempted, certain trades and professions, blah, 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 blah. Where is the juice at? Any more juice? So he feel like she was treating him like an independent contractor, and he wasn't supposed to be labeled as that according to the law. Let's see. Okay, so the plaintiff he said, okay, the plaintiff essentially worked during all waking hours of the day. He was always answering calls and running other tasks under Stallion's direction. It says that he used his personal device to stay updated on his schedule, which blurred the lines between work and personal time for the plaintiff more than once. The Stallion interrupted the plaintiff during dinner and demanded that he immediately shift his focus to assist with her TikTok creative ideas. Plaintiff stepped away from dinner and worked on the phone in a quiet space of a given restaurant. As a personal cameraman, the plaintiff was forced to take a myriad of duties and work much longer hours. Specifically, the plaintiff worked in excess of 50 hours under the close scrutiny and explicit discretion of the Stallion, who continuously contacted the plaintiff at all hours, directing him to brainstorm TikTok videos, to edit content that the plaintiff had not captured, and complete various assignments. For all relevant times, Stallion controls and directs the performance of the plaintiff's works, who does not provide personal cameraman services independently of his relationship with the Stallion. The Stallion specifically told the plaintiff he was not allowed to service any other client other than herself on more than one occasion. Initially, the plaintiff was paid a monthly flat rate of $4,000 while working for Roc Nation. However, on or around August of 2022, Desiree Perez, the chief executive officer of Roc Nation, personally contacted the plaintiff to alter his compensation structure from a monthly rate to a pay-per-task system invoiced for each assignment. Despite this change, the time expectation of the plaintiff remained the same as before Roc Nation demand to change the plaintiff's pay. However, the new invoicing system resulted in the plaintiff earning significantly less, as the invoiced amounts did not accurately reflect the true time and effort dedicated to working for her. On multiple occasions, Stallion explicitly directed the plaintiff not to engage with other clients, expressing possessiveness over the plaintiff's services as her personal cameraman. For all the relevant times, the Stallion controls and directs the plaintiff's works performance, requiring his constant availability by the phone for work-related issues, thereby causing severe emotional distress and anxiety for the plaintiff. During his travels with the Stallion, the plaintiff was required to stay at the hotel and be on standby at all times. Any attempt to use the hotel's amenities would prompt the Stallion to reach out and request his immediate return. As a result of the misclassification, the plaintiff was denied a meal break or a rest break. In addition, the plaintiff was not paid meal or rest break premiums during his entire employment. So he feel like, girl, you overworked me, underpaid me, and then y'all had the nerve to pay me less. So it says, for all relevant times, the stallion controls and directs the performance of the plaintiff's duties, did not qualify him exempt for purposes of the overtime law. During the entirety of his employment with Stallion, the plaintiff was denied overtime pay at an overtime rate. The plaintiff was not paid for hours worked in excess of 8 hours in a day. For all relevant times, the plaintiff was not paid time and a half for any overtime he worked or paid after the check, was thus underpaid for all hours worked to the extent the pay did not meet the labor code requirements. For all relevant times, the plaintiff was not paid time and a half for all overtime hours worked for those periods of wages of periods he received wages late. During the entirety of his employment with Stallion, the plaintiff hours of employment were not properly recorded due to purposeful misclassification of the plaintiff as an independent contractor and inaccurate work records controlled by the defendants. Moreover, during the entirety of his employment with the Stallion, the plaintiff was denied his meal and rest breaks and compensation for overtime hours worked, subjected to inaccurate timekeeping by the Stallion, which resulted in inaccurate wage statements. Stallion's misclassification of his employment status left him without basic insurance coverage, depriving him of essential health care. The plaintiff grapples with mounting anxiety, depression, and physical distress stemming from the toxic work environment compounded by the trauma of unpaid work. So he basically like, girl, I got pain and suffering, I got depression, I got anxiety, and I'm just over here down bad because you didn't pay me, and you didn't pay me on time, and you didn't pay me enough. All right, so it says the plaintiff incorporates by reference and realleges each of the foregoing paragraphs. At all times mentioned in the complaint, the defendant regularly employed 5 or more persons, bringing the defendant within the previous of California Fair Employment and Housing Act. The defendant Stallion conduct created a hostile work environment for the plaintiff, making the conditions of his employment intolerable, in direct contravention of various statutes and state law decisions, including but not limited to California Government Code. On or around July 2018, plaintiff Garcia began his employment, blah, 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 on or around the 2020. He was traveling with her to Spain, 3 women was riding in the car. Suddenly, you know, one of the other women started having hanky-panky next to him, blah, blah, blah. I'm tired of reading this. So basically, he's saying she fat-shamed him, she body-shamed him, she hanky-panky with him, she overworked him, underpaid him, and he want his money, and he got pain and suffering. That's pretty much what this says. It's 42 pages, and I'm at page 17, 18, and I'm already tired. So, y'all let me know what y'all think about the lawsuit. Let me put the link back on in the chat. Let me take this off of here. And I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on the lawsuit. Cutie is in the back. Cutie, did you want to chime in on this lawsuit? Are you there, Cutie? Unmute your mic. You in the back. Here's the link. Y'all let me know. Y'all said she Lizzo'd him. Hey, y'all. Okay, Cutie ain't saying nothing in the back. So, what's y'all thoughts on the situation? I really don't know. I feel like clearly he's salty because he got fired, and he feel like, well, shit, since you want to fire me, then I'm gonna take it there. And so that's what he did. He decided to take it there. Stevie, you never clicked the link. I want you to click the link one time. You reposting the link, but I want you to click the link. You tell me what you think. You tell me what you think. But other people, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think too. But yeah, it sound like he was kind of annoyed, but because she was a celebrity, because of the proximity of because of the perks that he got by being with a celebrity and traveling with a celebrity, he was allowing BS as far as overworking himself, not fully being paid the hours. And I feel like he feel like basically you fired me, so be F you and F Rock Nation and F all the things that y'all got going on. So therefore, since you wanted to do hanky panky in the car with me, baby, you know, I'm finna air it out and I'm gonna claim pain and suffering because of it. And I want to get money. So that's pretty much what I think about it. What do y'all think about it in the chat? What do y'all think is given? I seen somebody in the chat say that you felt like it was a money grab. Somebody said he should go after Rock Nation for his money. Well, Rock Nation is named in the lawsuit, so he's going after Rock Nation as well. Let me pull this back up. So yeah, so Rock Nation is named in a lawsuit. So he going after Rock Nation. He going after her. He going after the touring company. He going after everything. He wanted it all. Okay, he wanted it all. Brand new socks and drawers. Like, he want to get brand new socks and drawers, and he want it all. Okay, that's kind of what it's given. Let me turn them on back on. Craig said he's not going to win against Rock Nation. Child, Tommy, what you think about it?
I think I agree with you. I think he is salty because it's like you didn't get paid. But to be fair, if he didn't get paid the amount that he was supposed to, then I'm with him. You know what I'm saying? Because people need to get paid what they agree to. And they have a right to complain about it if they didn't get the money. But
right.
I think there's because with EJ, it was the same thing, but it wasn't direct because there were rumors about how she didn't pay EJ and that he was basically working for free, and that's why he had to distance himself from her. So I just think that we have to wait a little bit to see if there's more information because we just don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I agree with you on that fact. Like, if you owed a man and you didn't pay him, I don't think that this will go to trial. Now, if it go to trial, I'm going to be there, bells and whistles on, because it's in L.A. But I think it's going to end in a settlement, and we're not going to hear no more from it. Because I feel like it's easier to just throw him a couple racks and tell him to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure of the settlement, and boy, shut the fuck up and go on. Like, I think that's kind of what's gonna happen. But she needs to pay her people if she not paying her people, and if this is becoming a pattern, because a lot of the people that work for her are saying negative things. Like, there was the issue with the makeup artist, then there was the issue with the stylist, which was EJ, and then now there's the issue with the cameraman. But that's the thing, though. It's like these type of things, some people, like, they build friendships in the line of, like, worker/friend gets blurred. So I don't think this was like a regular, like, degular cameraman off the street. This is somebody who doubled as a friend to her, and that's kind of the vibes that I'm getting, that she was so comfortable that even as she drunk, you getting it, busting it open, if that's true, with him in the car. You know what I'm saying? And most friends would just, they'll gossip to their other friend, like, girl, this holder had all kind of hanky-panky in the car with me. But it would not result into a lawsuit. But when you famous, you got money, you got to worry about people wanting a piece of the pie and using things that you have done to collect. So...
right, and I just don't understand why she keeps putting herself in this position. Like, she needs to watch how much she drinks, and she needs to watch who is around her when she drinks. It's just simple. Like, she needs to start being more private with her social life.
Well, they seemed a little private in the SUV, and I don't think she did it publicly because we didn't know about it until he came forward and said. But so I feel like she felt like she was being private. He just spilled the beans. But go ahead, Yusuf.
Hey, can you hear me good?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. I had literally went to sleep early and then woke up and then literally was just in your DMs and you were live. YouTube need to stop playing with the notifications, okay?
Right,
But
right. Before
I
you
feel like
start, Toy Toy said 4,000 a month is only 48,000 a year before taxes. That's not enough money for the work that was required of him. I agree.
well, it's enough when when Black Americans work for all these different companies and we don't complain about nothing. Nobody says a thing. Nobody complains about being mistreated. Nobody complains about how small talk can lose their job, or people who snitch on them at work, or the different work conditions that we go through. Even though we're getting paid, still being treated a certain kind of way.
I
And
mean, people do complain about how much they hate their job. They just don't take legal action normally.
exactly. So they're only taking legal action because she's a celebrity, one, and that she's a female, and that she's a Black female. I feel like that's hit a lick for them. And then the dude who's probably over here on a work visa, okay, really don't need to be complaining. And it's something
Well,
about
he
in
kind of
Texas.
clapped back at people about that because a lot of people were saying that he probably was on a work visa, and he commented like on his Twitter, and he said something about him being born and raised in or born in Texas, like he's American.
Yeah, first generation, right near the border. That's just what I was about to say.
Yeah, he
A
said
lot
he
of the
was born in
Texans.
Texas, so he's an American, and people keep saying he was working on a visa or something like that. He clapped back at people and said that. But go ahead.
Texas got a love-hate with Mexican immigrants. They got a love-hate relationship. And then that's just the society at large. But Black people down there, and I know a lot of them, literally be fetishizing Mexicans. And so they be wanting to be down and all of that. They're not even noticing that it's people here competing with your rights. That's just my personal opinion. But that's first thing I got was work visa, clout chasing, and just mad. He's a disgruntled ex-employee. He's just mad because he was cool with it and kicking it all when it was. She got her box 8 how long ago? And it was, I bet you it was by one of them white ladies who kept grabbing her donkey on the red carpet. I'm a mute.
Go ahead, finish, Yusuf. Go ahead.
Well, that was it. Just stop complaining. And they created this monster. As far as her
Okay,
being a
so
little
what do you think about him saying that he was working nonstop? He couldn't have no time for himself. He couldn't work for any other client. And then on top of him making an agreement of $4,000 a month, they changed the agreement and made him pay per task, and that resulted in his employment to be much, much less.
Well, it's still a better opportunity than a lot of people gave. And I think it backfired on Megan too, because she be fetishizing the Mexicans too. And a lot of non-Black people, she loves to be the token negress. So she did that too, thinking, oh, he's this and he's that and he's just perfect. And then, and it backfired on him when he's the one that'll stab you in the back, because there's a lot of people working exclusive contracts for celebrities who don't get paid enough yet. You got to work your way up. A lot of people can't even get an internship. So, like I said, he needs to be grateful that he was born in America.
All right, all right, all right. Oh, somebody had clicked on. They clicked off. I was about to go to them, but yeah. So, Tommy, anything else that you want to say before we go to the next topic?
Listen, I'll just say this. If they agreed on a payment plan when it came to his job, then they need to confirm with that agreement. It just doesn't make sense why they would change it, and then they would act all shocked when he starts to sue. It just doesn't make sense. I think that if they made an agreement, then he deserves to get what he was owed. End of story.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I understand he feeling away like, shit, fuck that. Y'all ain't trying to pay me my ends. Y'all got to
right. That don't change the fact that he's salty, because he is salty.
Yeah,
but he still has the right to get what he's owed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I sure hope y'all fight for each other's rights the same way, because that's my thing. Even right now, just the fact of the energy of everybody talking about what his rights are, and she's a black woman and nobody really comes around her when she needs her rights. Even when she was a victim, she lied to protect a black man. That's probably why she felt like she needed a non-black man to be her DJ. And then it backfired on her still. So it's again another situation where the black woman always gonna have to stand alone, and then people get mad when she develops this certain character and thick exterior. See, the monster that's Meg Thee Stallion, make no mistake that the community created her. So did the industry, but so did the community. And like right now, everybody's saying, "Oh well, it was right is right, it was wrong." That's all fine, but she couldn't even get that same grace and support from her own folks. So if he's old, yeah, pay him. But, you know, definitely highlight the fact that he's just a salty, disgruntled employee and to stick with your own kind. With all due respect, no offense to anyone, I know America's a cultural melting pot, and that's cute. But there come a time where you got to have a plan behind enemy lines. So if everybody's sitting here and we already know how hard it is for black men, we know how hard it is for black people, we know how hard it is for mixed people, we know how hard it is for non-black, everybody know, immigrant, we all know what it is, and everybody stick together except for us. This is another situation where we're ready to throw Meg under the bus, because again, she getting her box ate by another female. Well, sounds like he enjoyed himself. Sound like he sat there and enjoyed it. Okay, and then all of the times that they done said, "Oh, B, do this, you HOE, you 403, and you need to get down on all fours and bust it open for me." And then now when the woman get in the front of the video and she willing to do it for you, it's a problem. They talk about the hypersexual woman, but not the hypersexual man. They walk around booty hole whistling when they walk. I know they not talking, ready to compromise themselves for a record deal where they go right on and halfway pay their homies as well. So
used to feel like the black woman ain't got to be accountable, baby.
No, I always, y'all always gonna hold her accountable. I just be adding my 2 cents. The black woman always gets held accountable. Even when I'm arguing against it, that's what it is. That's just my perspective as seeing that she stands alone oftentimes. The black woman has become so strong because of having to stand alone all the time. So it seems like people won't ever let her be a victim, in my opinion. Not saying that Meg's a victim in this instance. I'm just saying my outlook on things is always to make sure that somebody.
See, that's my thing with Meg Thee Stallion, and a lot of people's outlook is like, I went to the trial. I am not one of those people who's delusional and think that Tory Lanez didn't shoot her. I know that she is a victim of being shot by Tory Lanez. I know that. I've seen the evidence. Can't nobody tell me different. However, I think because she was a victim of being shot by Tory Lanez, people tend to make her a victim of everything. And for me, I feel like we have to kind of separate the two, as far as, yes, she was a victim of being shot, and that's unfortunate. Tory Lanez is out of line. He's in jail. He's serving his time. I still love his music. However, he was dead ass wrong for doing what he did. Now, I think that with that situation being said, a lot of people start to feel like she's a victim, or put her in this victimhood for everything else. And me, I just don't put her in the victim umbrella for everything else. I feel like, yeah, you was a victim of being shot. Yeah, that was unfortunate and jacked up, but you have jacked up ways yourself, and you have done jacked up things to people or whatever. And, you know, so, I mean, that's kind of my thing about it.
You're right. I agree wholeheartedly. And thanks again, by the way, for your coverage. Some of your coverage was very pivotal to the entire thing. You held it down for Black media, and you're absolutely right about that. I would not really deny that at all. There's also just other layers to it. I don't necessarily put her in the victim seat for every other thing. I know she's ruthless, but I just see her as just another Black woman. So just knowing and seeing how that went, because even when it comes back to that, that's still the reason why people's not giving her the grace right now. They can't wait to attack her again. So there's a balance that's happening, and that's why everybody be true to their self, because that's your true opinion, and that's my true opinion, and I feel like we're both right.
Somebody in the YouTube streets said they don't think she's a victim, they think she deserves it. Now, as far as, I don't think that way either. Like, I do think that there are people who I mean, that's the reason why Tory Lanez started to trend, because people felt like, oh, ha 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 ha, you know, you put him in jail, so therefore this is your karma, this is what you get, da 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 da. So they are praying for her downfall. So yeah, there are those people as well. That's that on that.